What is your OSPEEP? I've got to get the hell out of here right now. Story. My friend and I met at Waffle House for lunch. A guy came into the restaurant looking for a piece of paper that he had accidentally left on a table. The waitress didn't know where the paper was located and might have thrown it away. The guy got upset saying the paper was important and he was going home to get his gun stored under his mattress. My friend and I quickly paid our check and got the heck out of the restaurant. Yep. That's Waffle House. Each Waffle House is either a happy haven of laughter, dancing and good times, or a druggy hangout with a rat problem. There is no in between. The same Waffle House can be either of those things, depending on the time of day. Source: lived near a Waffle House for 2 years. True. Best time to eat at Waffle House is either at 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. with all the old timers, or 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. with all the friendly drunk people. The 1 a.m. to 5 a.m. is a crapshoot. Either the very unfriendly drunk people begin to show up, or the casual insomniacs and night shifters do. I love the Waffle House old timers. They're always in groups, and they've all got cliché nicknames. You've got a Bubba. You've got some dude named Squirrel or Bobcat. You've got a Bill or Hank. Then the last one has a nickname of something inanimate, like stick or mud or something similar. Was waiting for the next bus in a bus station at 2 a.m. in Minneapolis. A security guard outside told me to stay within the camera zone. I sat down and waited, all alone except a couple of junkies in another part of the station. Suddenly a guy comes in and walks up to me. This guy dressed in a black hoodie wearing a skeleton mask stood right in front of me. Didn't say a word. Just stood there and looked at me. When he started to walk away, I bolted out of there, ran down the street, and luckily found it 24/7 Walgreens. So you ran out of the camera zone? Horror movie logic. My husband and I were heading out of town. We saw a guy on the side of the highway pacing under the overpass. I asked my husband to take the exit and go over the overpass and take the next exit to continue on the highway. The second we took the exit, the guy jumped in front of a semi and killed himself. He was a freshman in college. The semi driver was 72 years old and 3 weeks away from retiring. I cannot imagine what the drive is going through. Why do speepty things always happen to people when they're weeks away from retirement? We're all weeks away from retirement, if you think about it. Ha. Joke's on you. I can't even get a job to retire from. Sounds like you've retired. Then. Nah. I'm just tired. I was on a restaurant and they were using a propane tank to power an outdoors heater. Suddenly the tank started to catch fire and I got out quickly because I thought it was going to explode. The staff turned the tank off and everyone laughed at me for overreacting, but damn, I got scared, lol. Oh. What a pussy. You're afraid of exploding propane tanks, said the barbed dildo shudder. We were digging out some dirt and rocks to make room for some steps to a lower portion of a patio that had a gas line running to a fire pit. I'm there with my boss and supervisor and all of a sudden I hear a whooshing sound of depressurization of a gas line and sprint away. Turns out it was only pressurized with air and not gas at that point, and we just had to get someone to come fix the hole we made without needing to evacuate the job site. My boss gave me speep, but I'll have the same reaction if it ever happens again. Mine is more laughable and my dad likes to tell it, but it's the only thing that comes to mind. I was with my dad at a car shop his friend owned. He was visiting said friend and had just brought me along. They were working on some old car, and I wasn't paying much attention as an 8-year-old. but they sprayed something on a piece of the engine as they were turning it on or hitting the gas or something, and it made this big flame appear for just a second or two. Well, in that second or two I had ran several yards to the street because I had seen way too many movies of cars exploding. There were like 5 men including my dad all standing around, and they were laughing their asses off. They call this gas start, you bastard, over here. Genuine name used by all mechanics. I was the only white guy working at a Hispanic restaurant, and I don't speak Spanish, that's part of it. One night after work I get invited to drink at one of their houses. All is going good, we're drinking and I even danced a bit. Then after going outside to the back patio to smoke a cigarette, I come back inside and the guy whose house I was at has a knife and is yelling at these 3 co-workers of mine, blocking the front door, yelling in Spanish that no one is leaving. I knew that much. A bar patron who knew me grabbed me and pleaded to the guy just to let me and him out since we had no part in it. The homeowner lets us both out. I asked the bar patron WTF was that when we're outside, since I can't speak Spanish, and he says the guy thinks my 3 co-workers are sleeping with his wife and he's probably about to kill them. I got in my car and got the F out of there. So what happened to the co-workers? Well, they all showed up to work the next day alive, and when I asked what happened, all my main man Humberto said is loco noche. I understand how this would feel weird to the random Anglo. Most of my friends are Mexican, and you have to understand how the culture works. You just let the guy do his knife thing until he calms down. Then the next day you go back to beeping his wife. Undefined. When I was 17 I met with a 23-year-old guy for a mall date. Can't remember his name for the life of me. I had just gotten out of a horrible relationship and was trying to distract myself. We had dinner, and when the waiter brought the check, the guy told me he had forgotten his wallet in his car and that if I went with him he could grab it. I told him it was fine and paid for the meal myself. We went into a couple shops, but he kept asking me questions about my ex-boyfriend. Also, he mentioned that he had been in jail but wouldn't tell me what for. And I was nervous. Then things came to a head when he kept saying, "Hey, just come to my car for a second please, let's listen to music," and kept getting increasingly anxious every time I declined. I was so scared. I immediately pretended to have a period emergency so I could get out of there, and luckily I had parked in a different lot than he did. I still have no idea what his intentions were, but man, that was terrifying. I'm glad you trusted your gut and got the hell out of there. I was in Thailand back in 2010. On the southern islands after a full moon party. My friend and I were talking to 2 girls who invited us to play poker. We went and sat down with 2 German guys and 2 burly Thai guys full of tattoos and began to play. They were joking, friendly, and the buy-in was 10. We lost some pots, won some pots, and overall it was a happy experience. The Thai guys beat us, and on the last hand I managed to claw my chips back to about 8. My friend was looking tired, so I gave him the nod. I thanked for the game and I said we would cash out and we would be on our way. The Thai guys put a machete on the table and told us to beep off. My friend, myself and the 2 German guys noped out of that situation as fast as we could. On the way back the girls caught up with us and apologized. But it meant beep all because they were clearly in on the take. Lesson learned. If pretty girls ask you to play a game, it's for nefarious reasons. Best travel advice I received was, if a local girl comes up and starts hitting on you, ask yourself, do I look like Brad Pitt? If the answer is no, it's a scam. But online it says there are hot singles in my area that want to meet me. In high school I went to a party in a recently abandoned house on the outskirts of town. There were a lot of people I knew there, but also a lot of shady folks I was unfamiliar with. Things started out okay, or at least as okay as they can for a party with a bunch of liquored up teenagers. As the night wore on, people started destroying things. I guess just because the place was abandoned. I left when someone threw a toilet out of an upstairs window. I found out later that the cops showed up. Several people ran from them through a nearby cornfield but were caught. A friend of mine ran right into a barbed wire fence, however, and ended up in the hospital. It's all fun and games until a toilet gets thrown out the window. Hope your friend's okay though.
Hey guys, if you like this video then smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel for more contents like this. And don't forget to press that bell icon to get notified for future videos. Thanks for watching. Click here to see more videos.